for bringing that information to the
I mean, bro, I remember when I was calling it, I'm like, bro, what's up with Biden? I remember I made a whole video, and I mean, this was like beginning days of setting key media on what's happening with Biden. And I pointed out that, yo, a mental decline is obvious because the man has had like, what, 3 brain aneurysms? So even then, Biden been had brain problems. He been had cognitive problems, even in his earlier days. So yeah, him becoming a complete mess, like it made sense. It made complete sense, especially if you looked into his history, well, his medical history at that. I know that actually required a little bit of deep diving, but yeah, our man has had definitely a couple problems up here in the head.
People and actually holding the White House accountable, even when they don't agree with those in there. And the fact is, these journalists were very much upfront with the fact that they did what they were supposed to do. They made a really tiny mistake. They promised to never make it again, and they should still have all the trust and all the faith of the American people. I thought it was very strange. I didn't expect any of it, but I can only imagine if Donald Trump was in the room, it would have looked very different. But for me, I don't think Thompson's admission meant very much, and I actually thought it was pretty hypocritical to sit in there and watch all these people support their own work, their own mistakes, and the fact that they themselves are responsible for the fact that trust and faith in the media is at an all-time low.
A really interesting perspective. Tim Miller, I saw you raising your eyebrow there, but there is a truth there, because it was a bizarre spectacle of a liberal skewed mainstream media basically openly admitting we dropped the ball massively on Biden's ability to be president of the United States. But many would argue, particularly on the left, I would think, well, it was entirely self-defeating, this ball dropping, and probably deliberate. You didn't give it the same attention you would have given it if it had been, say, Trump. And the consequence of not...
Let Trump as messed up as much as Biden. Let him stumble up the stairs. Let him fumble the words. Let him forget who he's announcing for and all that good stuff. Yeah, trust me, y'all have been all over this man's ass. But the fact that y'all just let Biden skate on by and even the supporters didn't say nothing, this is what makes y'all, well, honestly, dishonest, guys. Because you didn't call out Biden, but you expect us to hear you guys when you call out everything about Trump. Like, sorry, but we see your bias. And even now, because of this bias that you guys have, even when you guys call out something factual about Trump, it's gonna be it's like, bro, it's gonna be fall on deaf ears because you guys were unwilling to cover what Biden was doing, what the left was doing. And if you want to talk about fair reporting, then yeah, if you'd gave us that, we'd listen to you. But you couldn't even do that, so here we are. I mean, bro, you still won't talk about it, but you guys will write books about it, though. Like, funny.
Not holding Biden to proper account was that actually Donald Trump got reelected, which nobody would have expected. So there was a real-time consequence to this ball dropping. Do you think, though, that the mainstream media have learned any lessons from this or not?
Yeah, I don't know. And I think this is the one area maybe where I can agree with you and the co-panelist is I think that this dinner is pretty stupid. I think the last thing that we need is a self-congratulatory ball for political journalists. You couldn't have paid me to go this weekend. I was at Jazz Fest instead.
I'm weak. He said, shout out Castro. He said, drop the ball. It's like they threw the ball off our face. Like, no, for real. Because, bro, you're not lying. Right off our face, like they dropped it. What you mean? These guys, we wish they'd have did that one.
And so I agree that it's kind of silly. I do, though, bristle a little bit at, like, I'm not speaking about you, Piers, per se, but at right-wing commentators talking about how they think that the mainstream media is biased and unfair. And, you know, if you go to Fox or Steve Bannon's podcast or the Daily Wire, I mean, you see like North Korea-esque coverage of what's happening with the president of the United States as he's single-handedly tanking our economy for no good reason, just because he likes the word tariffs, I guess. He inherited an economy that was...
I mean, see, bro, and when people have this argument, this is why we lose. This is why you lose us. Because you actually honestly like have a disagreement with tariffs instead of just Trump is bad. You'd be like, all right, guys, I think I have a better way of bringing jobs back to America and rebooting the middle class because it's needed. I can get that point, but I have a different argument besides tariffs. That's respected. when you guys just pretty much talk about, oh, he don't even know what a tariff is. He just like the words tariffs and all that good stuff. I'm like, bro, you make yourself look intellectually dishonest because anybody can look up a tariff and see what the operation is. I mean, you can honestly look back at Trump's old speeches and he lays out his plans with the tariffs. So you guys who are talking like this, let's be real. You weren't paying attention and you don't know the plan. That's why you guys are lost on the field.
Getting better, that was improving, that wasn't perfect, but that was, on the right path. And in 3 months, he has put us on the brink of recession. And so, I think that the coverage on Fox and on other right-wing media outlets is, if anything, worse than the mainstream media's coverage of Democrats, which is not perfect by any means. And so, I just don't know if the right-wing media folks have a lot of great credibility when it comes to demanding unbiased coverage.
All right, Vinny, two things there. First of all, let's talk about the admission at the White House Correspondence Dinner. And by the way, I agree. If the president's not there and there's no comedian, there is no point to that event. Yeah. It's pure navel-gazing by the journalists. I went, it used to be the convention that if you were a news anchor, and I was at CNN for 4 years, you got to go with a celebrity. I got taken by Goldie Hawn to the White House Correspondence Dinner. We ended up partying at the Vanity Fair party. That is glamour, ladies and gentlemen. I had a great time. Then I went with Gerard Butler on a mandate the year after. So those days are clearly long gone. So I think the event has probably had its time. But the admission, Vinny, and welcome back to Uncensored. Always great to have you. The admission that the media dropped the ball on Joe Biden from one of the award winners on the night, saying, me included. Many will say, well, why did you drop the ball? Was it an accidental dropping of the ball, or was it a quite deliberate ignoring of the obvious fact that he was incompetent because they didn't want to help Trump in any way? And ironically, by not doing their job with Biden, many might argue that's how Trump got elected.
Yep. No, for sure. That's probably one of the reasons. Y'all could have found a better candidate. I mean, if you were just going to run Kamala Harris anyway, then yeah, y'all got met with the same results. But if you had a primary, had these guys debate, show everybody what the Democratic Party has to offer through these debates, yeah, y'all had a great stance. I mean, here's the problem, though. You probably got a populist or something. Y'all didn't want that. I'll tell you that right now. There is one movement that's grown in the Democratic Party that I am happy about, is the populism. So I will give you that. But, the populists is the guys that don't want speaking out for the liberals, even though you guys are the liberals with the best ideas. Sucks for y'all, though. Sucks for y'all. I guess the Marxist communist ones will be the loudest in the room every time.
Piers, the fact that, first of all, and I love you, Piers. Thank you again for having me all the time. It's a joke to me that we're trying to pretend all these people from just the left-wing media, period, pretending as if, we had no idea. How many days did it took, Piers, for him to actually address the nation or even have a press conference? They hid him during COVID. They put him in a basement to keep him away from everybody. Okay, we're not even going to get into that election. They kept him in the basement. Every time he spoke in front of a camera, it was a meme. It was a joke. Everybody knew, Piers, but they were told to shut up and they were told to play ball. Okay, because they had to do it because he was put in there to do whatever the hell that the left, the Chuck Schumers, the Nancy Pelosi's, and all of them wanted to do, and which they did, destroy the country, Piers. Because I made a list, Trump.
And kind of get us in, kind of, got that whole Ukraine war started. Yeah, the Ukraine-Russian war. You can kind of put that on Biden. And I've heard from a lot of sources that the Biden administration wanted Russia to be the main enemy. They wanted Russia to act into Ukraine, or else and here's to be real. And to be real with you, it makes sense because they could have stopped this at any point. They could have stopped NATO. They could have stopped Ukraine. They could have told Ukraine, you're not going to NATO, and NATO stop trying to get Ukraine into y'all because Putin's going to act. This has been told through many administrations. Yet, for some reason, Biden gets the same damn news and he just chooses to go, the exact opposite route that other administrations took when it came to this Ukraine and Russia situation.
Piers, of this first 100 days, since we're going to talk crap, border secure, mass deportation, the tariffs, which that gentleman doesn't like. I think the adjustment's going to happen and we're going to kick butt. Signed up, you said this, protect the women in sports, energy dependence, they're trying to drill, cut DEI and CRT and climate cult funding, designated the cartel terrorists. Piers, the list goes on and on. But the fact that the left-wing media is up there patting themselves on the back, and all of them, Piers, they're all making the adjustment. From Chris Cuomo to Stephen A. Smith, everybody now is like, oh, we messed up. Guys, we're not like the left. They're exactly like the left, Piers. I'm not going to give them any leeway. They all knew, but they kept their mouth shut because it's not Trump. And Piers, no matter what Trump does, they're going to complain. If Trump with the help of Elon Musk.
Let me jump in. So I don't disagree with some of what you said there. Here's just playing devil's advocate, though. What would you be saying if Joe Biden had suddenly unleashed a tariff war on the world that nobody had ever seen anything on this scale before?
And bro, when I heard this, I was like, Piers, I understand you trying to play devil's advocate, but let's play it accurately here. Yeah, Joe Biden sunk the economy and he didn't tell nobody. That's the problem. And anybody who pointed it out pretty much got criticized. So let's just stop that right there. We're not going to sit here and pretend like the stock markets weren't down in every way during 2022. Like, let's chill out. Okay, guys? Like, and here's the thing. At least Trump told us. At least the man was transparent enough to say, yeah, there might be a bit of a squeeze, might be a bit of a pinch point, but we'll be okay. Biden, bro, he pretty much just said, hey, yeah, here's hard economic times and don't tell me about it. Actually, as soon as you report about it, we're going to call you a liar and you don't know what an economic good time is, or you're lying to the people and you're fear mongering. It's like, no, we were telling the truth about the economy under Biden and y'all didn't want to be honest about it. So it is kind of funny how the man talking about, well, what about this tariff that dropped the stock market for a couple of days and then it shot back up? And nobody want to talk about that though. But okay, here we are complaining about Trump and his tariffs. Okay.
And the immediate consequence was a massive tanking of stock markets and the US economy. Wouldn't you be raging about it? Now, I happen to think that this will play out probably in a way that's nowhere near as alarming as it currently seems, but that remains to be seen. As things stand, there is no doubt that it's caused enormous short-term damage and volatility to the US economy and stock markets. Wouldn't you be the first raging about this if it was Biden?
I'm be honest with you. No, if Biden done laid out a plan and said, hey, look, I'm about to pop on these tariffs and we about to go ahead and get American manufacturing back, bro, I'd have been with the same shit. We're not biased about the plan. We on both sides, we admit that it's a good plan. The problem is, though, if Biden would have done it, everybody would have sat their ass down and wait patiently. The problem is that Trump is doing it and everybody's asking for day one results, next day results. That's the problem. So we could cut the bullshit right now. If Biden would have did this with full transparency, we'd all been like, all right, cool. I guess we're in it for the ride. But Trump does it and you guys are impatient. So yeah, that's what we're going to draw the line right there. Biden would have did this with full transparency like Trump did it. Everybody would have been sat their pretty ass down. But since Trump is doing it, there's a whole lot of impatience. Like, really, guys? Okay.
No. Well, yeah, Piers, you know why? Because Biden is not Donald Trump. He's not a master negotiator. You can't even put two in the same breath, Piers. What does Joe Biden or what Janet Yellen or any of those people know about anything with business and power moves, okay? I would be tripping out because I'd be like, who the hell is telling him? Donald Trump knows exactly what the hell he's doing. And Piers, all that fear mongering of April was the worst month the stock market saw since the Great Depression. We had the biggest bounce back, but nobody from the left said shit.
Exactly. I mean, Scott Bessent said it too. We're talking about, bro, our Treasury Secretary or the secretary, pretty much the guy who runs the Treasury. And the problem is he said the same thing. He said, bro, everybody was talking about this 4-day dip and it was mass panic and then it shot right back up, biggest bounce back in history, and nobody had anything to say about it. Everybody just shut the hell up. And you know, I would like to bring up the Dow Jones average under Biden and show y'all how y'all was completely outraged for nothing. I mean, it was way worse under Biden. We had way lower numbers under Biden. We had way worse dips under Biden. And y'all fearmongered pretty much talking about we were in the worst state in the economy since the Great Depression. We had the worst April since the Great Depression, which was factually and historically a lie.
Sorry for my language, Piers. I would be astonished because I'd be like, where did this come from Biden? Trump knows what he's...
Man, shout out to my man Luke. He's like, liberals criticizing Trump on trade and tariffs is like Biden as an Olympian as an Olympic judge. Like, bro, yeah, like what the hell is that man calling? Like, what can y'all honestly call? And what do y'all know about business? Last time I checked, y'all hate the rich, aka y'all hate business people. Shouldn't y'all be for this? I'm so confused on you guys. Like, y'all are hilarious. I thought y'all hate the rich, but all of a sudden you're championing the rich to go ahead and, you know, subvert the American people out of jobs. Like, what's going on here, guys? Can y'all stick to the message just for once? Let go of that hatred of Trump and stick to the message.
He's doing, Piers. And like you said, it's 3 months, Piers. Everybody needs to calm the hell down. Everything is happening. The adjustment needs to happen. We're going to be fine, Piers. Give it a year. Give it 2 years. We are kicking ass. The rocket is taking off, Piers, but everybody's worried because it's shaking on the way up. Everybody needs to stop. And the last point I was trying to make, Piers, is no matter what he does, they're going to complain. If Trump, with the help of Elon Musk, stopped an asteroid that was about to hit Earth, the next day CNN and all these leftists would complain that he's polluting the world with asteroid debris. He can't win. He can't freaking win.
Okay.
So, Piers, I'm tired of hearing all these soft people. I'm just tired. It's over. Nobody gives a shit anymore. And why would you go to a dinner where you know the left is all going to talk shit about you?
Well,
I mean, that's actually pretty, and they've been pretty damn divisive. So, you know, they're not going to pull no punches. They're going to get hella disrespectful. I mean, we've had somebody on the left come out again at this man's wife, called her a whore. And here's the thing, though, G, I'm just like, if you're going to do that in front of that man's face, I don't think we're going to be in for a good party. I mean, let's be real. If Donald Trump would have went to that dinner, that man would have took the mic and would have handed everybody a verbal lashing. And we don't need that. We don't need that right now.
He doesn't need to show up.
That part is certainly absolutely true. Kat, we're nearly 100 days in. It'll be 100 days on Wednesday. What is your overview of the Trump 3-month reign so far? And people call it
You know, it's so funny. When Vinny took that sip of water, the whiteness returned back to his face. I'm like, God damn. Bro, he be cooking, but he not lying. And I do say people like mistake, being passionate about what you're saying for being emotional, like being incoherent. Like, no. You mistake passion for, I don't know why y'all mistake passion for being overly emotional, but nah, it just means that there's honestly 10 toes down in their point. They're solidified. They're validated. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna say this. All the facts line up with Vinny. Okay. The facts line up with Vinny. And I'm gonna be real with you. I get his anger because when you sit there and you hear the left's talking points and all that, you're just like, bro, what? Me, I laugh. Vinny gets angry. I laugh about it. I mean, I guess there's just two ways we deal with it. But trust me, I feel his anger. Like the same amount of anger he has, damn near the laughter that I have, because it's that freaking ridiculous.
Reign, because I think he's behaving like a monarch, which I'd have no problem with, but obviously Americans don't like that.
I mean, yeah, that's part of the reason that we're not a part of England anymore. I would say that it's been disastrous. I mean, yesterday I was at a veterans rally for people who had been laid off from their jobs because of Musk's Doge, for people that aren't able to get health care, who are exposed to tar pits overseas when they were serving, for people who are struggling with the care at the VA as Musk and Trump cut it. And this is in the only red part in the district that I'm running in. I talk to so many older people who are like, I don't have a 401k anymore. And as much as Vinny wants to say, like, wait a year, wait 2 years, people can't wait a year or 2 years right now.
Hold on. Did she just say you're walking into people who don't have a 401k? That's a goddamn lie. And I'm going to tell you why it's a lie, because you're telling me that there's a stock out there that just went to zero? Really? Like, please inform me of that. They're like, oh, I don't have a 401k right now. Like, did they give it up? Did you want to ask certain questions? Did it go to zero? What happened here? Like, bro, like the fear mongering. Oh, you're going to lose your 401k. It's like, bro, no, you're not. You're not losing your 401k. Okay, guys? I don't even know why y'all let them threaten you about that.
I talk to so many older people who are like, I don't have a 401k anymore.
And shout out to my man Green Bean. He said they never talk about wins. Bro, they can't. Bro. They just can't. They can't do it. It's gonna kill their image. And then think about it. Almost everything they say about Trump, they're gonna have to backtrack on. As soon as they give one compliment,
more. And as much as Vinny wants to say, like, wait a year, wait 2 years, people can't wait a year or 2 years right now because most Americans can't afford an emergency $1,000 expense. And this isn't only limited to blue areas, this is also in red ones. Our allies can't trust us. We seem volatile, we seem weird, and we seem extreme just on the economic front. And that's not even counting how many people in this country are terrified for their very existence, for the existence of due process. I mean, you can say, well, criminals don't deserve due process. Well, due process is how we decide whether.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Sis, get our point correct here. We're saying that terrorists do not deserve due process under the Alien Enemies Act. That is our argument. We're not saying that these criminals don't deserve due process. That was never the argument. So please get the argument straight here. The argument is that, all right, cool. I believe that through the Aliens Enemy Act, we can send terrorists, gang members out of here without due process. What is your argument to that? Don't frame it as, oh, you just don't like due process. You want to go and get criminals don't deserve due process. No, I didn't say that. Like, come on now, let's be real.
Whether or not you're a criminal. We absolutely need it. And the answer isn't deporting people to concentration camps overseas.
Okay. Do you see any successes for Trump so far?
Ooh, good question. I mean, he seems to be
Gulf
doing
of
his
America.
vision as he wants.
He renamed a body of
Gulf
water.
of America seems like a really
come
big win
on.
for him.
Good.
I'm sure that he
No,
sees
it's a
these as
serious.
Wow, that's what I'm saying. It's a serious question. This man just low-key locked up the border, and he's low-key and he upgraded our national security. Y'all can at least give him that. When you want to sit there and be like, honestly, a dick, like just be, oh well, the Gulf of America, like, bro, are you serious? Okay, this is why you guys will never win. This is why. Because you guys are crybabies and you guys are childish about y'all positions. It's like, bro, we need a new lib. We need new libs. That's what we need. We need new libs, guys. We need a new liberal party. Y'all just need to flush out all y'all influencers because they are not showing the best of y'all right now. Y'all need new representation. Because what? Like, what? Bruh, if you'd asked me this about Biden, I'd have been like, no, well, at least name one thing good thing that the Biden administration did. I'd have been like, shit. I mean, he stuck it out to the end, man. He stuck it out to the end. What can I say? He's a real one. He stuck in there to the end. Shout out Biden.
This question.
I personally don't.
I just want to know I want to know whether you can genuinely bring it into yourself to say, yes, he's done this really well.
I am genuinely thinking about this. I think that there is something to be said of, I personally don't like Project 2025, but they are accomplishing the goals in there. And I don't mean that in a snarky way. If that is what you want to do, then they are doing that well.
I mean, what's extraordinary to
Hey, no, go back. That was hilarious. Like, hold on, really?
But they are accomplishing the goals in there. And I don't mean that thinking about this. I think that there is something to be said of, I personally don't like Project 2025, but they are accomplishing the goals in there. And
I would ask the Haxer. I'm like, all right. And this is why I hate this is how you can catch any lib up on Project 2025. Because I've shown Project 2025 here a lot of times. When I ask libs what's in there, every time it's wrong. They don't know what's in Project 2025, but they speak about it though. And I'd have to ask, I'm like, all right, cool. Well, what's happened in Project 2025 that you disagree with? Like, name one, because there are some that happen. I will not disagree with that, but I'm saying name it. If you can name it, please tell me. And I'll give you one off the rip. The dismantling of the Department of Education. That was something that Project 2025 said they wanted to do. I mean, actually, if you actually read Project 2025, they was cooking. They was cooking all through that document. It was not a bad one. They had some decent, I ain't gonna lie, some decent policies. And came from the Heritage Foundation. You know, so crazy. People don't tell you. You know, Obama got some ideas from the Heritage Foundation. I mean, the Heritage Foundation, all they try to do is bring conservative ideas to the other side. And that's really, it's a think tank. But hey, what do y'all know, man? Because if y'all ain't gonna go out there and really like read Project 2025, then who y'all to criticize it?
And I don't mean that in a snarky way. If that is what you want to do, then they are doing that well.
I mean, what's extraordinary to me? See, I mean,
yeah, Fox Chase. Oh, bro, I didn't want to be petty and make that point, but I'm sorry, bro. Yeah, I appreciate you making that point. He said, "You ever see Democrats fight for vets this hard?" I mean, like, yeah, I know, right? When these veterans are making all these complaints about the VA and their health care and all this good stuff, we didn't hear nothing from them. Nothing. Then Trump comes in, Elon comes in, cut people from the VA who weren't freaking doing their job, and then y'all want to talk about veterans now. Now you give a damn? Now. It's like, bro, like I said, cry me a river, bro. Cry harder, please. Because shoot, like I said, I got a mug with liberal tears that needs filling.
Would take everything you say a lot more seriously. If you said, you know what, Piers, what is indisputable is that on the southern border, there's been a 95% drop in the number of people coming over illegally. That is clearly, demonstrably, inarguably, and non-partisan, inarguably, a fact. And he should be celebrated and acknowledged for that. But it's being completely ignored by many on the mainstream media. And I get, this is my problem with it, is that the anti-Trump sentiment is always so intense that no one can even bring it upon themselves to give him credit for an obvious win for America.
Exactly. Like, bro, even when Pierce got to sit there and lecture y'all like, dog, this is an obvious win for America. We should all be okay with this, but you guys are sitting there pissing and moaning because it ain't you. This is why you guys will lose continuously if you want to act like children. If this is, bro, if this is the guys you wanted to represent you guys, they make you look like petulant children. I'm sorry. This is what it is.
That is an obvious win for the United States. There are many other things you could quibble with and question or feel enraged by. But you can't say that, Kat? You can't say on the southern border that's a big success?
No, I think that the way that Trump is treating immigrants, this is a country that's built by immigrants. My dad is an immigrant.
These
and
are
the way
people
that
pouring in illegally in their millions over the southern
there
border.
are people that are
He's talking
seeking
about
asylum, and we need
Well, they're not
to
all
have.
Nigga, there are people that, woman, you are not educated in this subject to be speaking so freely then. When you sat there and just pretty much said, well, some of them are just seeking asylum. This ain't the TPS program, bro. We're talking about 5 to 10 million people who just ran across the border. We're not talking about the TPS program that was, you know, for these asylum seekers. That's what you're talking about. You're talking about the 500,000 that Biden let in through the TPS program. We're not talking about them. That's what y'all don't get. Not everyone, bro. You really want to say that, oh, every one of them were asylum seekers. They just disrespected our law and crossed our borders? Yeah, you don't know about the 5-10 million. You're speaking to the 500,000 that Biden let in through the TPS program. Like, you missed the argument or you're not informed enough. Because if you truly think that we're talking about just 500,000 immigrants, you're tripping. You're tripping. We're talking about 5-10 million of these guys.
Seeking asylum. You know that, Kat.
No,
Come on. You
bullshit.
don't think, you genuinely
Come on.
think
We
10
literally just
well, hang on, just
deported-
looking at millions over the southern
There are
border.
people that are
He's talking
seeking
about
asylum, and we need
Well, they're not
to
all
have.
speaking asylum. You know that, Kat.
No,
Come on. You
bullshit.
don't think, you genuinely
Come on.
think
We
10 million.
literally just
Well, hang on, just to be
deported
clear,
men
you
who
genuinely think
claimed
nearly 10
asylum
million.
in El Salvador
Hang on,
being
Kat.
shipped to a concentration in El Salvador.
We're not talking about the ones being shipped to prisons in El Salvador. We're talking about the reportedly 10 million people who came over the southern border in the Biden administration. You think they're all genuine asylum seekers?
I always do say, look, this girl shows how you can just gain a following just off spewing left talking points. She don't know nothing, but she has a big enough following to be on Piers Morgan. God bless her, man. Praise this girl for that achievement. But it just shows that, bro, when you just speak for the left, these guys just follow and support without ever asking you to back any of this up. And this shows the fact that she thought that 5 to 10 million were, oh, they're seeking asylum. These are dreamers. It's like, no, they broke our law. Like, if you want to talk about the TPS program through Biden, I mean, sure, like he got that one off legally. I disagree with it, but it's there. But the fact that you don't know about the 5 to 10 million and you're speaking so strongly against Trump's immigration policies is crazy. So you don't even know what's going on. And she looks like a pretty young lady. So I doubt she really knows what's going on in the world.
I think that we don't have a good enough asylum process, and there are plenty that are claiming asylum, and it doesn't matter whether someone is claiming asylum or not. Trump is treating them all the same. I mean, he just deported
I'm Weak. Okay. Shout out my man James Foley. Like, do women have snatches or do snatches have women? What?
2-year-old U.S. citizen back to Honduras who is being treated for cancer. And that's the problem here, is when it comes to our border issues, we are focusing on, it's treated so broadly and so angrily, so hatefully. And there's no difference between these people. The way that this administration is treating them is inhumane.
Okay, Tim, you wanted to jump in there. Hang on, Vinny. Hang on.
Go ahead, Vinny. I'll follow up, Vinny.
Yeah,
Go
Tim,
for it, bro.
Tim, and I appreciate you, bro. Thank you, and I appreciate it. First of all, that 2-year-old was here with an illegal alien mother, and if the mother gets deported, Piers, the kids go with the mother. So stop that rhetoric.
She's a 2-year-old being treated for cancer.
Excuse me. I let you speak. Please let me finish, okay? And you're talking about, well, you're talking about, first of all, let me back up. Americans can't afford $1,000 and they're struggling. That's because of the last administration. Trump just got here. That's number one. And are you truly, genuinely talking about illegal? You're talking about illegal immigrants, illegals that are here, that are in freaking gangs. That to join the gang, they have to kill people, that sell drugs, that beat the shit out of his wife. We get rid of him. Is that who you're sticking up for? Are you honestly going to sit here and say Trump is just doing a broad, any illegal? No, it's going after the illegals, all right? And you mentioned veterans. I'm a United States Air Force veteran. When I joined, I swore an oath to the Constitution to protect this country of enemies foreign and domestic. And I never knew, Piers, who was the domestic. You know what the domestic is? It's the people that flood this country.
All right, shout out Foley, man. He say not all abortions are bad. Obama became president. Yeah, shout out to Barry Soetoro.
With illegals, they don't give a shit about a law. They weaponize the justice system. They try to kill our freaking president. And then when he tries to kick these people out.
As a black man, I will sit here and admit that, bro, I don't even know if that guy was born in this fucking country, bro. I don't know. It's just a lot of things that just don't line up to me with Obama, okay? I mean, mom got with some guy in Kenya, and then she moved to, marry some rich oil guy in Indonesia, and then, that's Obama's stepdaddy, and that's where you get the Barry Soetoro from. And then all of a sudden he ends up with rich grandparents in Hawaii. Then where the fuck was this man born? Was he born in Kenya, like Indonesia, Hawaii? They said Hawaii, but that kind of don't line up because he said he came to Hawaii to visit his grandparents. No, let's not go down that trail. Let's not go down there, okay? Because all I can say is that, yeah, I'm not sure that man was born in this country. I'll be quite honest. And shout out to Fox. He said 8% of snatches got their wealth from divorces. Yeah. The richest woman in the world, what is it, like Bezos' ex-wife? She got $77 billion. Yeah, shout out to divorcing rich men. Like, hey man, women, you got him, didn't you?
Oh, he's the mean one. I'm sorry. This is an argument that you are not going to win. Okay, there's absolutely no. He's talking about illegal gang members, and you're sticking up for MS-13 members. Have you ever encountered an MS-13 member? Have you ever spoken to one of them?
Well, I think the problem, Vinny, the problem, Vinny, hang on. I'm going to come to Tim.
Damn. I ain't gonna lie, Vinny. I ain't gonna lie, he went off. I ain't gonna lie, bro went off. I'll be like, hey. Like, dog, look at this little white girl right here, G. Trust me. She ain't hearing you. She ain't hearing you right now. Actually, she don't even know the facts. I think we have aligned that. If I was to come at her, I'd just be like, all right, look, baby girl, it seems like you got some couple things confused. So let me educate you. Like, you're talking about 500K through TPS and not the 5-10 million that ran through the border. Those guys are not considered asylum seekers. No, they're not.
We are conflating several different issues here, because the issue of people being deported, many of whom are already on the deportation list and are convicted criminals, some of them for murder, rape, and so on. I don't think many Americans have any sympathy with, I assume, with those on a deportation list who've had the due process but haven't yet been deported, now being deported.
Hey, shout out Joshua Bennett. Ain't had too much to say. Just want to show some support. And shout out to the supporters tonight. I appreciate you guys. All right, let's keep it going.
Murder, rape, and so on. I don't think many Americans have any sympathy with, I assume, with those on a deportation list who've had the due process but haven't yet.
I'm weak. James Foley hitting us with, I love to get some other guys' wealth from snatches come into money. Bro,